I just want to make sure people understand, and I appreciate what you're doing once again, and I think it's the right thing. And I'm not up here to tell you what to do or what not to do. But I want to be clear that the city government, which is headed by a city manager, has made a determination that if people do camp, they will be arrested. I just want people to understand that. I can appreciate you're going to do what you're going to do. That's your right to do that. But I just want folks to understand that me being here doesn't change that dynamic. Me think it's a good idea that you're out here talking about these issues. That's important. But this, the government that runs this city has made a determination that folks will be arrested if they camp. I would encourage you, and you have to make your own decision, that there are being on the common within that area that is allowable, which is in the morning till 10 o'clock at night, having tables, educating people, providing people information about the issues that you're out here for, has value. And I understand that's harder, certainly at the lake that's harder to do, but I would encourage you, and I know the city government will work with you if that's what you want to do as an alternative, if you want to have tables and be here all morning and all night up till 10 o'clock to educate people. That's what the purpose of the common is. So I just want to be clear, because I don't want people misunderstanding and leaving here saying, hey, the mayor was here, he appreciates what we're doing. You are going to get arrested. I just want to be really clear so people understand that, okay? So, and I just want to make sure people don't misunderstand my presence here, saying I appreciate the spirit, and I'm anxious to work with you to find ways to get your message out there. But I just want to say too is I take an oath saying I'm going to uphold the law of the city. The highest law enforcement person said this is what they're going to do. So I appreciate what you're doing, whatever you do, I want to work with folks to help you get your message out about the issues you care about. So, what?
Are you going to camp with us?
Break the trend.
Are you going to camp with us?
Once again, I as mayor take an oath to uphold the laws of the city, okay? And I took that oath, and I have to follow that. Whether I agree or disagree, until I change those laws, I'm obligated to abide by those. That's my obligation, responsibility.
There's one clarifying question that got through Doug. If you want to talk to Doug.
Sure.
Can you give us any information about setting up tents during legal hours?
The setting up tents during legal hours, as I understand it from the police, is not allowed. You can the city will provide you a permit to set up tables, to provide information, to pass out hot chocolate or food or whatever you'd like to do, but tents are not allowed on the common at any point. So, and once again, I would encourage you to sit down and talk to the city manager and his team and the police chief before you take action. But you do what you're going to do. I'm not here to tell you what to do. I'm just being really clear that I am sworn to take an oath to abide the laws of the city. So I can't say that I support you breaking the law. And number two, that you will be arrested. That's all I'm trying to say.
One more clarifying question? What's the clarifying question?
Well, first, thanks for coming out here. And
no problem.
But doesn't the First Amendment have freedom to assemble? And shouldn't that infuriate Trump, what the city is saying?
That's an excellent question, and perhaps for a smarter person than I to kind of determine. But, and I would say someone with a little legal training my wife could probably help me on that one.
Okay.
But she has international human rights. She's not an expert in the First Amendment. What I would say, though, is that I do believe that the framework by which a community is allowed to restrict hours with reasonable hours, I believe it's first light till 10 o'clock at night, does meet a constitutional test providing access to a public space. So, and this is technically a public park. Those are the rules that engage all our public parks, and I believe they've withstood legal challenge. So.
Okay, thanks.
No problem.
I think that everybody here appreciates you being here, and nobody here thinks that you being here is like an endorsement of us breaking the law. So I don't think that has. You need to worry about that.
Yeah, I'm not.
We are going to do what we're going to do.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Thank you. All right. And I'll look forward to whatever. My door is over here at 3:05. I won't be here for the next couple of days, but stop any other time. Be happy to talk as Chris did and others did. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Jeff Gagnon, having spent
The better part of 3 weeks out at Lake Park. I am in favor of taking the common. Mostly because the division being separated physically from the GA has caused a lot of turbulence in our organization. Okay, now I would like to offer a friendly amendment to the proposal for occupation that once accepted, if accepted, we delay a couple hours before doing occupation so that we can call Providence. We're going to go in whether regardless or not, but put out the call to Providence, put out the call to Boston, put out the call to Springfield, put out the call to Maine. Tell them, get your asses down here now, and then we take the common. We don't got big enough numbers without them, but if we say, we ratify this thing and say, occupation takes place at whatever, 7 o'clock tonight, that gives them plenty of time to send plenty of people to surround this common so that it would be so logistically ridiculous for the police to get us out of here that they can't. Thank you.
Terry.
Oh, right here. What?
I'm right here.
It's like 2 o'clock right now. Just get the call right now.
Why don't we get? We have to receive consensus, and if you want to talk about it, get on stack too, because I think it's probably best to do crosstalk on stack.
I would like to
bring
attention to the issue that I've seen in 3 occupations. Having an encampment and being in a GA are not mutually exclusive. I have seen a lot of turmoil, as Jeff mentioned, between people who camp and people that show up for the GA and then go home. Before we make a decision on the proposal on the table, I would urge everybody here to consider this issue. What we need now, more than any time prior to this, is unity. We need to work together. If this is going to work, the GA, including the encampment, needs to work as one unit. Being in Portland and being in Boston, in addition to Worcester, I have seen animosity. I have seen the groups tear each other apart. Before we move further, I would like everybody here to consider how deep your commitment is to the Occupy movement. That's all I got to say.
Yay!
Josh.
Hi. Mike Jack. While I am still in support of taking the common, I still think we need to get more numbers. Which was just brought up earlier. Perhaps getting other groups involved. Cool. That's it.
Clarifying question. The friendly amendment to wait for support, does that satisfy your concern?
Last time we tried to take the commons, we did have support from Boston. But not all of them. we're willing to come onto the common and help protect the camp.
We're willing to come onto the common and help protect the camp.
So maybe.
So maybe.
Thank you. Chris W.
Hey everybody.
Hello everybody.
It's good to see all of you here again.
It's good to see all of you here again.
And I just want to reiterate
that
the Occupy movement is about civil disobedience.
It's about civil disobedience.
It's not always about obeying the law.
It's not always about obeying the law.
So if we occupy the common, there's obviously going to be some tension between police, politicians, and the occupation. And while I think it's good that people are concerned about numbers, we can't keep waiting. This is about our future. And we need to start fighting now. So I think we should occupy the common immediately. Thank you.
Sam. I don't need the mic. As you know, on the 13th, we have scheduled a March of Solidarity, which means everyone from New England is going to be here.
Or at least invited anyway.
Or is at least invited. But, sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself. If we have Lake Park until the 13th, and if we are seriously worried about having enough numbers to inconvenience the police enough to not arrest us, I suggest we wait until after the march and the rally on the 13th. Temperature check? Waiting until the 13th? All right. It's also going to be a logistics thing, is that people from, say, Portland and Maine probably might be stuck here overnight. So if we have space to offer them, I think they'd be more likely to visit. I've said my piece. Yes?
Camp or otherwise?
Good question.
Point of information?
Yes.
We actually have Lake Park till the 14th.
We actually have Lake Park till the 14th.
Which makes it a little even more logistically feasible.
Which makes it more logistically feasible.
Is Doug? Can you catch Terry?
Terry.
Okay, Terry, go ahead. Yeah.
Point of information.
I don't think we'll get much. Support from Maine.
Support from Maine.
Today. Maine has a march on the Capitol. To occupy the State House. Today.
We don't have any support from Connecticut either.
Well, stack.
Today.
Stack.
Okay, Shrina.
What's going to be decided?
So my voice is a little sore, so I'm going to use mic check.
Mic check.
I believe that the reason why the Occupy movement is so successful is because of its persistence. It gives people a chance to learn what's going on and decide whether or not they want to get involved. This has been done so far by having permanent occupations. But based on some of the information that we're receiving today, I wonder, and also based on support, I wonder, and I don't necessarily agree with what I'm saying, I just want to put it out there. Okay. If people would be interested in harboring some of the occupants
harboring some of the occupants
in their homes at nighttime. And those occupants get up bright and early and occupy the common throughout the daytime in order to, like I said, gain persistence and help the public learn about the movement. Okay. I don't know if, what do people think? Should I take a temperature check on that?
What was the question?
The temperature check. Okay. Temperature check. Well, we're not going to make it a proposal because we've got a proposal on the table, but we're doing a temperature check on the idea, which might shift some of the proposals. But temperature check on the idea. You want to restate it?
Sure. So, I'd like to get a temperature check. On the idea. Of harboring occupants. At nighttime. And having them come out. With information and presence. Throughout the entire day on the common. Point of information.
Is this just for the sake of tomorrow? Or this is clarifying, not a point of information. Is this just for tomorrow, or is this a friendly amendment to the original proposal?
No, again, this isn't even a friendly amendment. This isn't just an idea. Point of information.
Point of information, some of the occupants at Lake Park are homeless. So that is something to consider.
Any other clarifying questions?
Are you asking for people who are able to harbor, or just asking for an idea, a temperature check on the idea that it would be good?
A temperature check on the idea. If at some point we want to make it a friendly amendment or a formal proposal, then at that point I think there should be people stepping up who are willing to harbor. Again, this is just an idea. I'm not putting it out as a formal proposal, and I'm not putting it out as a friendly amendment.
All right. So a temperature check meaning like, indifferent, don't like. Can I get some hands either way?
Is it a good idea to give people beds in your house, in people's houses, not necessarily yours?